So let's open this up, and I'm just going to go into a particular piece. And this particular piece was very kindly sent to me by the university. So I'm just going to thank Lillian for sending that particular image. And I thought I'd reuse this for the purpose of the demo today. So what you can now see on screen, this is me in Google Docs. Okay, what you'll see at the bottom is I've already pressed my Equatio button just up the top, and now my Equatio toolbar is along the bottom. So I have all the maths tools that I need now in my document. If this were Microsoft Word, it would look exactly the same. Word would be on screen, the toolbar would be down the bottom with all the buttons I would need to do all of these things that I'm going to show you. So there's a couple of things here that I want to start with. We talked about the toolbar, all these buttons along the bottom. So let's see how easy it is. So for example, if I go down here and I want to answer this particular question, okay? If I go down here to the equation editor, this is where we can type. So we have the ability to change the size of the canvas here. I'm going to keep it quite low at the minute just so you can see what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to go up here and now I can start typing. So for example, if I wanted to start typing derivative here, I could start by popping in DER for derivative, and it's going to give me the correct maths notation for that. And by just pressing enter, I could have it there, and that could be inserted into the document. Okay, and that's just one line. I'm going to do this in multiple lines in a little second for you. But I could put in this, and this is now accessible. Now I've put this in as a large font size. That's only so as you can actually see this on screen. I'm now going to delete this and delete this, and I'm going to show you in a slightly different way. So let's say we didn't want to use that prediction, so we just wanted to pop it in. So I'm going to put in over, so that'll give me a fraction, and I'm going to put in partial, okay, because I want to put the derivative symbol in there. I can go down and I can start typing partial in there again, and I can start to pop that in as x, and you'll see the correct notation of x is there. So if I now want to move on and I want to say open a bracket, I can open a bracket and I can put 3x minus 1. I can close the bracket and I can put equals 3. Okay, so I can type this out easily. If I just want to move down to another line at this point and I want to do it again, I'm going to put in over again, and this is not going to make any math sense, and I get that because I'm just trying to fly through things fast, but I can put in a second line really easily. And all I have to do is press insert maths. And now that's going to pop directly into my document. And remember, it's going to be in that slightly larger font size that we put in earlier. So I've been able to type maths easily in multiple lines. And I could have done it using prediction, or I could have just typed the symbols. But once we start to use the natural language of maths, it becomes easier to do it that way. And if I just pop this in, I want to show you some things we won't have time to go through, but just to give you an example, if I now move down to another line here, you'll see I have the ability to align maths in any way that's suitable for me in this particular equation that I'm working out. I also have things here like I have shape tools and templates for layouts and stuff as well. So matrices, I've got all of these areas that I can start to pop in directly in the document to give me nice, clear layouts. So rather than have to struggle with how the maths is or should look in terms of how we would enter it in Equatio, we can do that there. So this gives me the ability to create maths. Now, one thing that's very useful here from an accessibility perspective is that we put what's called spoken text behind the maths. So that means that when a screen reader, for students who need a screen reader, could be our very own read and write, when it comes to this maths content, they can have it read aloud in a natural sounding voice. So if I were to go to, say, my screen reader, and this could be, again, any screen reader, but read and write.
Lines, line 1. The fraction with numerator partial differential and denominator partial differential x times open parent 3x minus.
So that's going to read it in natural maths language. Now, for students who are visually impaired, as an example, we do it in ClearSpeak and MathSpeak. They can have it in the way that they're used to and have been used to studying maths and need that read out loud. But that's very, very useful. And the other thing that it enables me to do is if I were just to open that again in this bottom pane, for example, I can also take this maths, you'll see that's an image, and I could copy it as MathML or spoken text or HTML, or I could just download the image of that. So whilst I just pressed insert maths because I just wanted to pop it into the document, I have the ability to take the maths and put it anywhere that I need it in any format that I need it. That doesn't have to be about accessibility. That just has to be about where we need it most and in what format we need it in. So I'm just going to delete that maths. Okay. And I'm just going to draw your attention really quickly. And again, Quasio is a big product, so we're going to be skimming through lots of these things. But for example, if I wanted to do handwriting recognition here, I have the ability, and I'm going to use a mouse for this because it'll look deliberately quite poor. And I'll do a squared for my X. So no matter how bad my handwriting is, what my mobility level is, I can write multiple lines of maths here. Now that looks very small. I can drag that and make that canvas as big as I want. So I could start to handwrite maths. I could also start to dictate maths just by pressing the record button. And this is not going to work over Zoom because of the audio loop back. But what happens is I press record and then I can simply read out maths one line at a time. This is not multi-line, one line at a time. It'll appear here and I just press insert maths and it's going to go right into my document.